So I'm very excited to be joined by a brilliant man, Dr. Friedemann Schaub. He is a physician that specializes in cardiology and molecular biology. But what he's done is he's taken the field of psychology and married it with neurolinguistic programming and creates unbelievable change. I mean, incredible, beautiful, lasting change through his vast, I guess, toolbox. You just have technologies that you've studied and you've blended all together in such a beautiful way to really facilitate true change for people. So I'm really excited about having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me. Very excited to be.
We have such a story. I have such a story to share with the audience. My gosh, I had Friedemann on my radio show in LA, and the engineer, we were talking about fear and anxiety, and I have this fear of spiders. And the engineer, God bless him, he flashed a picture. He and my producer were talking, and he flashed a picture to me on his iPad, which was just about this big, of a tarantula. And I freaked out. I didn't expect this at all. I ran out of my chair and I ran against the back of the wall because I couldn't get far enough away from the spider. It was on the other side of on the other side of double. I ran against the wall and I couldn't get back to the microphone because that would have been closer to the spider for me. And poor Friedemann sitting there on the air going, "Are you there?"
I just kept on talking.
No. So I slowly crawled my way back, and I had a full panic attack. I had never experienced that before. One other time with spiders. And so he was so kind to contact me several times after the show saying, "Can I help you? Can I help you?" I obviously needed help. And I seriously did not even know I was that afraid of spiders. And we had the most incredible conversation through listening to your CDs and your meditations leading up to the time that I actually spoke with you, which really helped me. I just have to share with the audience what I experienced with you, but I mean, it was life-changing for me. I've had significant changes. And marrying together everything. So before I go into that story, tell me a little bit about your background, Dr. Schaub. I mean, you're a physician, cardiologist, molecular biologist, neurolinguistics, and psychology. That's amazing. That's an amazing
Obviously, I couldn't make up my mind.
No, you obviously did it all for a reason. You put it all together.
Well, yeah, but that was in stages. So it started more with the traditional medicine way, and then I got really interested in finding out more about what is possible, which molecular biology really helped. Because when you really look into the detail of a cell, you understand, wow, we have actually unlimited potential inside. And it's completely different than what you're told in medical school, which is basically focusing on what we cannot do and what the doctor is here to help you with. And molecular biology kind of switched it around and really showed me, wow, there is so much more than, I knew about what we on a daily basis create, literally miracles that as researchers we were still scratching our heads in the tiniest simple things like, how does digestion work and why do billions of cells in our cells die every day, but not dying because they are old or dying because they have some kind of a toxin. They're dying because they are making room for the other younger cells. It's like, they call it actually programmed cell death, programmed suicide. So all these magical things that are happening inside of us, where there is a harmony between trillions of cells, I was fascinated by. And naturally, I asked myself, how can we use this potential and how can we help it actually to heal and prevent illnesses? And that's when I got into my interest in the mind-body connection, in the subconscious mind. I studied meditations and yoga and then got into ways to connect to the subconscious mind, like clinical hypnotherapy and neurolinguistic programming. And at some point, it just all fit together.
That makes sense. I love that story because you came from the traditional medical model where you found out what's broken. then you got into the cells to find out, and I just want to ask you about that. So our cells have unlimited potential. That is a huge point, and it links into the neurolinguistics that you're learning, or that you talk about. So when our cells replicate, their only job is to replicate, right? Their only job is to create more and more and more and more abundance, right? Essentially.
Well, and then they have a job also to perform, depending on where the cells are. If it's a cell in your stomach, or a nervous cell, or a cell of your skin, so they replicate and then they do their job. And then there are these cells like the stem cells that are really just representing potential, because they can basically switch into any role you ask them to switch into. And that's a very interesting side of research right now, to try to utilize stem cells to repair, for example, when there has been an injury in your spinal cord or heart attacks, can we actually use those cells to prevent any scar tissue to get established in the heart, which ultimately is a problem after a heart attack. So yeah, there is a lot of interesting stuff going on right now with harvesting the potential that we actually have innately in us.
That explains spontaneous remission and also healing, healing work, where you have strong intentionality. You could actually address the cellular level and regrow at the cellular level through that understanding. That is brilliant. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
Well, vice versa is true too. We have to realize that illnesses are connected to our thoughts and our emotions. And, we know, of course, there are many stress-related illnesses, high blood pressure, again, cardiovascular diseases, but then there are also autoimmune diseases. One of the biggest issues right now in our autoimmune diseases, like Crohn's disease, or also allergies, where we are overreacting. Our immune system is overreacting to our environment, and these kind of things to do with stress have a lot to do with our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotions. And so when we are healing those, I have seen countless times where also then the physical body is catching up and actually is adjusting itself to the changes you have made on a mental, emotional level. So it's very exciting.
Interesting. So how this has to do with stress, you just mentioned it right there, is that you can reform the stress with knowledge. And it goes beyond thoughts. I mean, you could intention yourself into reforming your stress, but really learning how the body works and how the mind works with the body is the key, I think, to reforming stress.